Alright. Welcome to the new set. This is it. We're done. We got the flag, of course. Flags are all set and ready to go. I'll give you guys the whole grand tour and all that kind of shit at some point. But nevertheless, there's a lot of Jesse. A whole lot of Jesse going on. So, I should probably give Jesse a lower half. Fuck Jesse, I don't give a shit. So, I'll make him a ghost. That would be kind of funny. Anyways, so this is what you guys are going to see pretty much for the foreseeable future. It may be a little further back or a little further forward. It depends on where I put it that day. But yeah, nevertheless, this is going to be your shot. So, welcome to the new set. I was thinking about doing a whole bunch of videos to like make up for lost time and all that kind of shit. Because I gotta be honest with you folks, it's really nice to have cable that works, or internet that works, right? It's fucking amazing. I watched all sorts of movies and TV shows and played all sorts of video games, and I wasn't interrupted 500 million fucking times. So it was awesome, and I like. Friday I was going to do a video, and that went by in a blur. Saturday I was going to do a video, but it was fucking 9 o'clock before I realized it, so. And then Sunday I was going to do a video. I didn't go to my parents to do laundry because I was going to do a video Sunday, and again, like, I don't know, time just flies. And then Monday I was definitely going to do like 2 videos. Alright, I was definitely going to do 2 videos. And I didn't. So now I'm doing this. So we're going to do like a potpourri. Everything that I wanted to talk about from the time off, instead of doing a whole bunch of videos where I kind of stumble and stammer around and don't really know what to say, I want to kind of sum up and tell you in general what I think about the things that I did. And one of the things in politics. We'll start with politics because I think everybody's kind of fucking tired of me talking at this point, and I want to get to politics. So, James Comey. The IG report comes out on James Comey, and it essentially says that James Comey is a scummy motherfucker, but because of circumstances, it falls just shy of being illegal. So, right? And James Comey went, aha! Vindicated! Wah! And everybody's like, what? The fuck? What? How are you vindicated? The idea was to find out if you're a scummy piece of shit and your word is worth a fucking like goddamn anything. And you know what we found out? You're a scummy piece of shit and your word isn't worth a good goddamn anything. So, how are you vindicated? Because you weren't brought up, because you're not a criminal asshole, then you're what? You're still a fucking asshole. Like, you still did dirty, nasty shit, and guess what, bitch? I think your comeuppance is still coming. Because you were still part of all the other fucking nefarious shit going on, and this was just looking into your leaked memos, you fucking tard. So, I would wait to raise the flag over your head and do a fucking victory lap, right? Like, you still might be going to jail. They're still investigating all that other shit. Whatever. So, yeah, they figured out Jim Comey's an asshole, so Jim Comey says, cool, I'm not an asshole. And everybody goes, that's what an asshole would say. So, Jim Comey, confirmed asshole. Right? Like, I get what he's doing. He's kind of trying to, like, I don't know, poke fun at Trump or something, or, like, do a Trump thing where, like, now, you know, like, the Mueller report comes out. What was the idea of the Mueller report? Did Donald Trump collude with Russia, conspire with Russia, right? No. That's what they found out. Did he? No. A lot of shady shit that Jim Comey threw out there who came on the radar, and then we started going, what is all this here? And so that's why now Jim Comey's in trouble. So Jim Comey, like, using that as, like, a bit is fucking retarded. So, right? And oh, what was the other thing? Fucking with evidence, or, no, it wasn't that. Damn it! What did they say? Obstructing justice! That's what it is. Brain fart. Obstructing justice. Did he obstruct justice? Well, first of all, the Mueller report came out. So no. No, he didn't. Second of all, yeah, he tried to. He told a whole lot of people to do it, and they didn't do it. And you know what? He didn't do it himself, which he could have done. And he didn't fucking fire all the people that didn't do it because they didn't do it. So, right? Like, yeah, he bitched about it. But it didn't happen. He wasn't guilty of it. He was bitching about it. Like, I don't know. They didn't put an enforced gag order on the president that he couldn't talk about the fucking case. So he talked about it. No shit. Like, if I was being investigated for the same shit, guess what I'd be doing? Fucking talking about it. Unless I was told by the court or my lawyer, hey, you shouldn't talk about this. In which case, I would not talk about it. But apparently, Rudy Giuliani didn't say that shit to the president. He said, fucking talk about it. I don't know. So, right? And he talked about it on Twitter. How are you obstructing shit by just bitching about it on Twitter? So no, and no. That's kind of like being exonerated of shit. When it's found out you didn't do it, yeah. So, however, we wanted to find out if Jim Comey was a fucking untrustworthy piece of shit. God damn, I'm just all over myself today. We wanted to find out if Jim Comey was an untrustworthy piece of shit. And we found out, yes, but he's just not a criminal level untrustworthy piece of shit. But we God damn it. It's my alarm. We pretty much found out he did everything that we thought he did. He's a fucking asshole. Why is this dude cheering at the... whatever. So he's not going to jail yet. Jim Comey. That dude... I don't know if he's having like a mental break or something. I don't know if the pressure is just too much for him now and he's just lost it. But that dude has just lost it. So... fucking Jim Comey. Whatever. Switching into entertainment news, I watched Mindhunter. And that was a great show. It's about a guy who's a weird guy. Very Sheldon-ish. Right? And he's in the FBI and he's a profiler. Well, first he's like a hostage negotiator. And then he becomes a profiler. And it's him and the guy that runs another department. They team up and they go and interview serial killers. Like they interview Charles Manson and they interview Son of Sam and all these fucking guys. And it's really just an interesting fucking show. Like it's really interesting to listen to the interviews, which from what I understand are based on the actual recordings. So I don't know to what level this is actually all real, and I don't know at what point it gets exaggerated. But I imagine that the lives of all the characters in it probably pretty exaggerated, and how they interact with each other probably pretty exaggerated. But I imagine that the actual interviews, like when they're recording in the show, I'm kind of thinking they're acting a transcript. Right? Like they're acting it, so there's visually some fuckery going on there, you know, and maybe, you know, since they're acting it, maybe they're conveying emotion differently. Whatever, you know what I mean? But I imagine what's spoken, probably for the most part what was spoken, to some degree or another. Like I said, I don't know how much of it's real or not, but it's a damn fucking cool show. So I highly recommend that. We'll give that one 5 demon-possessed dogs telling you to kill people. That's a high rating, for those who don't know. And the other thing I watched was Brightburn. That was the other thing I wanted to talk about. That was a cool movie. It was a superhero horror movie. Very cool. And it had like all of the awesomeness of like kind of like the maybe, I don't know, early 2000s-ish kind of flavor to it, horror movies, like I don't know when Scream came out, but like the Scream movies. You know, it has kind of that, like Scream, what is it, Final Destination, it has kind of that type of a vibe to the horror aspect to it. It has that feel to it. It's kind of campy, but kind of cool, you know, and very bordering more on realistic campy, as opposed to like crazy campy, like 80s fucking horror movies. So, you know, it kind of has that more realistic but odd fucking feel to it. And it's a horror, I mean, it's a horror flick, but it's essentially essentially the synopsis would be, a capsule falls to the planet holding a child, right? And this child, being exposed to the yellow sun, becomes impervious to damage, super strong, right? And has laser eyes and can fly. And this kid is raised by very loving parents, all the way up until he finds out that he's a superhuman. Once he finds out he's a superhuman, he just is like, I don't fucking have to follow anybody's fucking rules anymore. And he's just done with it all. Like, he doesn't give a shit. And then he finds out that his parents lied to him, and he gets pissed, and he doesn't become America's greatest hero. Let's just say that. So, it's essentially child Clark Kent if he was fucking evil. And he's fucking evil. Like, creepy evil. He's got a little antisocial fucking shit going on too. He's got some personality disorders as well. So it's kind of interesting to watch what happened if Clark Kent was picked on a whole lot in school and really weird and creepy. What happened if Clark Kent was actually a serial killer? And it's kind of interesting to watch that after having watched The Boys and then Mindhunters. So I watched bad superheroes and then serial killers and then meshed them all together with Brightburn. It was an interesting couple of weeks. So yeah. But regular programming should resume. Right? But I tend to get into games, and I'm playing games that I get into. I'm playing No Man's Sky. Some of you may have been around long enough that hearing the name No Man's Sky, you go, oh fuck, I remember those days. And you're going to remember what it was like. Others of you who are new, well, half of you that's new, you're going to be like, fucking No Man's Sky, that's a shit game. And yeah, it is kind of. At least it certainly fucking was the last time I played it. But the last time I played it, I put 135 hours into it. And now it's mostly fixed. So, like, I'm kind of invested in this game. I bought it for $50 because it was brand new and I really wanted to play it and I expected it to work. Found out it was a beta release game. It was an alpha release game, right? So, I essentially play tested that game for 135 hours for them. In game time. That's in game time, right? And I constantly was sending them fucking bug notices and shit like that. So I kind of worked for them for free for I kind of paid them $50 to work for them for 2 months. So now that the game's mostly fixed and there's been a shit ton of updates for it, I'm playing it. And man, it's every bit as fun as it used to be, but like not as frustrating as it used to be. I haven't had to really save and quit out very much. You still have to do it. Like now, there's still the bug, like most of the old bugs are still in it, but it's almost funny now. Like, I got out of my ship at a crashed freighter. For those of you who play the game, I got out of my ship at a crashed freighter. And think of it like this. It's a spaceship that's crashed on a planet. So there's all sorts of wreckage and shit, right? I get out of my ship. I take a couple of steps. I fall through the planet. I take damage, pop back up on the surface of the planet. And I'm like, okay. I take a couple of steps. I fall off the planet, right? And I take some more damage, and I'm like, okay, well, now I'm fucking hurt. So I'm looking around, and I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to do? And I'm like, I wonder if I can jump on the wreckage. So I jump and jetpack over to the wreckage, right? And I'm like, well, okay, well, now I'm not falling through the world, so I solved that problem. However, I need to dig down to things that are underneath the world, and that's what I'm like looking for here. I need to find shit that's buried. Fuck. So I'm like, well, and I just started digging a hole, and then I wound up being fine. So like that was kind of funny and cute almost, compared to what would have pretty much been a game-breaking, making it non-playable for the night type of scenario in the old days. But it ain't that broken anymore. It's still pretty broke. But now it's kind of cute and funny. It's almost fucking endearing. Honestly, I hope they just kind of leave it the way it is. Because when things do fuck up, for me, it's kind of like, I remember that. That's funny. Because it's not happening all the time. It only happened, like, each thing has only happened maybe once. So that I'm almost cool with. Because it's almost funny. You know what I mean? It's nostalgia for me. I go, I remember that night when I rage quit on this game because of that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but I'm playing No Man's Sky, and it's actually a lot of fun. So if you were like me and got duped into buying the coolest game in the world because you heard it was the coolest game in the world and found out it was an alpha game, then you should play it now because it's kind of almost finished for the most part. So, yeah. And remember, abandoned bases and desolate planets. Money makers. But yeah, so there you go. That's kind of been my moving. Everything is done. Everything's all moved in and everything. We're at 16 minutes. My battery's about to die. I ain't fucking around with it. I'll do another cribs video for you guys. Unless every single one of you is like, no, I don't give a fuck what your place looks like now. In which case, I won't. But I think that'll only be like 2 or 3 people. If I remember correctly, only 2 or 3 people were like, you should have fucking done this. So, whatever. It was very ominous. I don't know. Whatever. But, yeah, everything's all set up. Everything's unpacked. Everything's unpacked. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome. I still have to throw away one more thing. But, yeah, everything's done. Everything's unpacked. Oh, and I got lamps. Can you tell? You can see me. I'm actually pretty bright on one side and pretty dark on the other. Ooh, I got like a cool dichotomy going on. I got yin and yang. Fuck yeah. In betweener for comic book geeks. Alright, there we go. That's the video for today. Like I said, normal programming should resume. I'm going to have to do some looking into stuff because everybody's just talking about this storm. By the way, thoughts and prayers, of course, with everybody in Florida and, and North Carolina and everywhere where the storm might hit. But it seems so far like it ain't doing shit. So, it's just destroying the fucking, was it the Bahamas? Yeah, it's just sitting on top of the Bahamas, just shitting all over it, just destroying the whole fucking place. So, I don't know. God just really wanted the Bahamas. So, I guess we give it God that, and everything else can be cool. I don't know how it works. But yeah, so everybody, pray for everybody in the Bahamas and Florida and all that sort of thing. And hopefully it just kind of peters out. I don't know. But yeah, so there you go. I hope everybody's having a good time. I hope everybody has a great day. And I will see you guys later.